Welcome to Spark, the new District 88 evaluation management system. This is the place to go for all of your observation and evaluation documents. Each staff member has an account already built, and the way to access that account in Spark is simply by typing in your username for Novell and your password for Novell. Now, to get to Spark, you very easily can access it on the icon that is on your desktop if you are in a District 88 building, which would be the district office, Addison Trail, or Willowbrook. But you can also access it at home by going to spark.dupage88.net. Once you log into Spark, you come to this home screen. And this home screen has various tiles that we'll orient you to here first. So the most important place that you'll want to go is when you get notified of your initial conference is this potential next steps. The potential next steps is the tile that tells you based on how many observations that you have for the current year and when your summative is going to be, what are your next steps in the observation and evaluation cycle. The tile to the right of that is your progress for the current observation cycle. So based on the number of observations you have, both formal and informal, as well as your student growth portions, the percent of the observation cycle that needs to be completed and your progress towards that completion. Below, we have the current average score by component. So as you are observed and you are rated based on each of the components of our rubric, 2A through 3D, you'll see the average score over time. We don't have any data in here from observations, so that's why you don't see any information populated here. And then lastly, we have the summative ratings over time. And because this is the first year in this system, we don't have previous summative ratings listed, but as we continue to use this system for future years, you'll begin to see what your rating is over time after your summative meetings, and that's found here in this tile. So to get us started here, we have the initial conference, and the initial conference is really easy to begin. You go to your potential next steps tile, you click start an initial conference document, and it'll take you to a file wizard screen. So we want to create a document, and it takes you to the document that needs to be completed. So for our initial conference, we want to focus on the professional practice portion of our evaluation, and we will determine based on our previous observation cycle what our goal is for the upcoming year. So let's say based on my last summative evaluation, we wanted to focus on for this year component 3B, which is questioning and discussion techniques. So I can fill that in there. And then any possible deficiencies from the previous cycle. So let's say that no deficiencies were noted. We can type that in there. If there were some areas we needed to work on, we would punch them in that area. And then we just click save, and we are done. The administrator can now see, and the department chair can now see the saved document on their end. So that's the nice thing about the system is no longer do you have to save a variety of files in different places with different dates on them. It all saves in the system, and the administration and the department chair, when you come together for your initial conference meeting around the professional practice portion, they can see it by logging into their account and pulling up your documents. The next piece we need to prepare for with our initial conference is our student growth document. And by this time, you will have met with your professional learning communities to determine what your PLC's goal is going to be for the year, and then you get to determine what your own goal is going to be for the other half of the SLO. Before I jump to that portion, I want to bring you to the tile to the right here with the progress for the current observation cycle, which is at 6%. We completed our initial growth document and so it shows my progress at 6% towards the whole evaluation cycle. So you'll just see that percentage continue to update as you complete these documents. So let's start our student growth document. Again, we click on the link to start a student growth document, and we want to input our targets now. Really simple to do. Again, we would come up with the date by which we will be meeting with our administrator. You could just type it in there. I'll identify my professional learning community that I'm a part of, where I'll be using the whole group's data, and my individual goal, which will be. From there, I would type in all the content that's necessary for me to complete my individual goal for the upcoming year. So just for the sake of time, we're just going to put some test content in here. And you can advance to the next box by just hitting the tab button. You don't even have to use your mouse. It advances you to the next portion based on just hitting tab. So let me complete these documents real quick. Now, when I get to my growth targets portion, most of us use some sort of charts and to track our student growth targets. So you can just put see attached in the boxes here, because we have the ability to upload charts and graphs at the top. So after I complete all of my content, so I fill out all the boxes, I want to save the changes so I don't lose that information. But then if I want to attach a chart, I click the attachments and I just upload a new attachment. And that's where you can put your an Excel spreadsheet, or you can scan a document and upload the PDF. Any document that you are going to be using that lists your students as well as their baseline data for the initial conference and where you project the growth target to be can be attached here. So really encourage you to use the attachment piece for your student growth portion, as the box, while there's unlimited characters in all of these text boxes, sometimes it's easier to convey the data with an attachment. Once you save the changes, again, your administrator and department chair can see this document on their end, and as in the initial conference for your professional practice, also holds true for the student growth portion, is now we can have the collaborative conversations around where do we want to focus our time and energy based on our SLOs as well as our professional practice portions, and we can have that conversation with our department chairs and administration. Another interesting piece here is that we do track in the system a historical record of everything. So when you click on the history tab, you can see the file over time and when it was saved and all the variations of it. So that's kind of a nice piece. As well as if we need to download a copy, a hard copy, we can do so by clicking the cloud here, and a PDF version will pop up, and you can save this for yourself as well. So it comes out nice and clean, and we have everything set in place. The last piece I want to highlight, though, is that for every document that we submit, and this would have been true for the initial conference as well as for professional practice as well as student growth, is that we have the opportunity to sign these documents. And we can do an electronic signature to verify that everybody was at the meeting and we've talked about it, and it timestamps it. And the way we sign it is the administrator will actually, or department chair will actually do this, but if you're a staff member, a teacher, they are going to be finalizing that document, and then everybody can sign on it. So I can put my signature in here, we can accept it, and then it saves it. If you want to see what that looks like for a printed copy, we would download the PDF, and you see my signature. Of course, you would have a department chair and administrator signature as well, but it dates it, timestamps it, and we're all set to go.